The wayfinding landscape is changing, so welcome to Endpoint's Wayfinding Xchange Podcast. We want to connect with leading experts, tech innovators, and key contributors to exchange knowledge and innovation in physical and digital wayfinding. We want to shape the future of wayfinding through discussion, collaboration, and shared expertise. And this is why we have created this podcast series. Enjoy the episode.
So, hello and welcome back to the Wayfinding Xchange Podcast. Today is a beautiful day in London, made even better by our latest guest, Ocean Liu. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. It's great to have you here. Thank you for coming. So, very briefly, Ocean is a senior associate for interior design at HOK's London office. Very briefly, HOK is a global design firm specialising in architecture, engineering and planning, and operates out of 26 offices around the world.
That's right.
Big company. And Ocean, I believe, has been working for HOK for 18 years.
I know. I can't believe it's how long it's been, but yeah, it's great.
You must have started at like 16.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you focus on interior design mainly for sports and healthcare facilities, and you're sort of actively engaged in all project stages from brief to delivery.
I started out at HOK concentrating on healthcare. Yep. But that's not what I do only. And because the HOK in London and elsewhere too is a multi-sectored office profession. So I have opportunities to explore other project types. And I do have quite a lot of experience in sports and, for example, in education as well, workplace, and even government work. And it's one of the reasons I've been with the studio for so long is to have the opportunity to work on all these different project types.
Yeah, just the diversity of different projects. I think that's one of the, it's one of the benefits of working for a big global practice. I get you get to dip your toe in all sorts of interesting
You're
projects.
Never bored, right?
No. So just very briefly before we get really stuck in. So we've known each other for quite a few years. We worked on a project together many years ago, and more recently we've worked on a couple of projects in very different sectors. I guess for our listeners, the reason I was interested in talking to you is because obviously this collaboration of interior design, wayfinding, and ultimately these things driving visitor experience, which for sports and healthcare,
of course,
it's kind of what the business we're all in. So I just wanted to find out more about you, your process, how we work together, and how you view this idea of visitor experience and what you do to try and drive that and promote that.
Yep.
So you told us a little bit about ourselves already. I mean, I know it's a bit odd, but where do you hail from? Where were you born?
I'm Chinese. I was born in northern China in a very, very cold place called Harbin. I don't know, you might have heard of it actually, because the city is famous for ice sculptures. There are entire parks made of ice. So I've grown up in a very cold place. Yeah, amazing. And when I was 11 years old, my father, because before he retired, he was working as a researcher on cancer. Or, genetically related diseases. And he was invited to Dallas, Texas to join a research group. So that's how our whole family got the opportunity to move to the U.S. And my first experience in the U.S. is Dallas, Texas. Yes. And then we moved to quite a few different places. Okay. And to make the long story short, after my husband and I met from Dallas, Texas, I moved to northern US, to the East Coast. Then I actually, at the time, because of my parents' influence, I was studying pre-medicine.
Okay.
Yes, something completely different from, the science aspect, not the art, I guess. But I found out that's not something I really want to do. At the time, I really was interested in stage design for theaters.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. But at the time, for undergraduate study, there isn't any study for this stage design. And I choose interior architecture. I felt like that was the closest practice. So that's how I got into interior architecture, interior design. And I studied in Boston, and then I went to Chicago for the Art Institute of Chicago. And then I met my husband there. We moved to San Francisco.
Jeez.
And my husband is Spanish. Well, he prefers to be called Basque. He's from the Basque country.
Yeah.
And we moved to the Basque country, and then a big roundabout. And then finally we came to London. And we thought, we can, we have enough money to survive for 3 months. And then that's more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you start working for HOK in London, or did you work for them in the US?
No, I didn't work for them in the US. Okay. I worked for a different firm before HOK. And actually, it's a very clear memory. I got a job at HOK on May 15th, 18 years ago. Wow. So it'll be my 18-year anniversary on May 15th.
Amazing.
Yeah, very exciting.
So there are many still around who have been there 18 years.
Yes, and I have colleagues who's worked in the London studio for much longer time.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, it's a big family, and we've been, the team's very close. Yeah. We've been working together for a very long time.
Yeah. I remember first going to HOK many years ago, probably even before Endpoint. And you were in a studio in Oxford Street.
Yes, on top of Topshop.
Yeah.
It was a very beautiful place. Yes.
I was just walked in like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
But, in that area, during lunchtime, I just felt, I need to go to Topshop or go shopping. I spent a lot of money while working in that location.
No, we used to be just over the road when we first started. And very much the same. Brilliant place for lunchtime, but easy place to lose all your money.
Yes.
So tell us about your journey at HOK. How's, it's obviously a big firm. It's multifaceted. There's lots of real kind of specialist people in there. So tell us about the interior design team, kind of how it fits in. How does HOK work? And it's obviously a good place to work. There's lots of people working there many, many years. So
yes.
What makes it special?
Well, I started out, as I mentioned, 18 years ago. And in the London studio, we have our own interior group, but we're very well integrated within the studio, working with architects on, new build or interior fit out projects. We actually, we collaborate a lot between the offices.
Yeah.
Like, I work with New York on different projects, and with the time difference is good. It's only 5 hours. Sometimes is a advantage, right? So I worked on many different project types. So I started out actually working in healthcare, as you know. And I'm still very passionate about healthcare interior design. But then I branched out about in 2016, I branched out to sports type of projects.
Yeah.
And then, for justice, court, interior design, and also for education and science and technology.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities for me to experience and grow professionally.
So do you think your sort of love of healthcare may be influenced from your journey into architecture, family?
I think so. Yeah. I hope my dad is proud of me. Although it's a big difference from how I started out. But, I remember excitedly telling him I'm designing hospitals.
Yeah.
So
you have lots of ideas.
I don't know.
I mean, for us, healthcare has always been quite a big sector. Alison, our design director, before Endpoint, worked for a company who wrote the wayfinding guidelines for the NHS. So she's got a real passion for that sector.
Yes.
I mean, I always find it really kind of worthy to work in that sector. It's always, you think you're doing something that's really making a positive impact on people who are under often quite a lot of stress in those environments. I mean, how I'd imagine for an interior designer, there's a huge amount of scope, but also a huge amount of restrictions in trying to flex those creative juices. Because this idea of wellness and environments that help healing process, reducing stress. I mean, is that what you like about that sector? Or
yes, it's one of my driving factors, I guess, for feeling the passion for healthcare design, is creating environment that helps patients to heal faster, to recover faster. And we often talk about healthcare interior design as a patient-focused design. But nowadays, we like to think it is people-focused. Yeah. It's not just about patients. There are many staff members, hospital staff that, spend even longer time. Yeah. And for them, creating a good environment for them that promote the efficiency in their work is extremely important, of course, for patient recovery as well. And there's also patients' family spend a long time in hospitals with their loved ones, in a very fully stressful environment. Absolutely. And wayfinding is extremely important. Right?
Yeah.
For spaces like
often
that.
Often an absolute nightmare. It's some shocking things. I mean, we were very lucky a few years ago. I think in the UK we're blessed with the NHS and it's the service that offers. But it kind of frames your vision of what hospitals are like. And then we have other studios and we work on private hospitals. We work for a large South African brand once who just bought facilities in Switzerland, and it was just, it's a different world. They were actually looking at hospitality and kind of hotel environments as design influences for their private rooms. You really hit it on the point. Yes, we do use like the hospitality model. Yeah. And I think it's very important to give patient choices, right? To control their environment, especially for inpatients. And there are lots of studies and innovations in healthcare interior design. And HOK has a lot of experience in that. And I'm fortunate enough to work on a variety of healthcare projects, where we can explore that kind of innovation. Yeah. For example, waiting room design. Instead of having just a room, and any patients or family members just sit there twiddling their thumbs, especially as we know here we have long waiting hours. And there might be other design ideas that kind of ease people's anxiety and, provide a different kind of environment for waiting. Who to say we have to sit in one place to wait? For example, in restaurants, waiting for a table, they can give you a buzzer, for example. When your table is ready, you can be anywhere. You don't have to be in the waiting area. You can be anywhere, and when your table is ready, you get buzzed. Why not the same for, waiting for your appointment? You can explore the garden outside, walk in the public space, and there's different spaces like galleries, even libraries, different kind of spaces that help patients to have that kind of comfort and ease. Yeah, I don't think there's any shortage of ideas and proposals. I just think sometimes over here I remember a project we did years ago. The ambition was there, but there's like a politics. The example was, this going back a while, leaflets. There's loads of patient leaflets in hospitals for all sorts of things. And they're done on the cheapest material in the cheapest process because they don't want to be seen to be wasting money on that sort of stuff when it should all be going to those sort of frontline machines and staff and all the rest of it. So it's difficult in the UK, I think. Anyway, we've slightly gone off topic there, sorry, but I thought it was really interesting. So for a hospital or any project, is there a typical process that's employed in terms of pulling the team together? I guess you get appointed just for interior type projects, but then you also get appointed for huge new builds with multiple team members. Yep. How does it generally work in terms of the process?
The process itself is very exciting. Sometimes we say, the result we're all working towards too is the result, but the process of getting there is very interesting and exciting. Yeah. So what we normally do is HOK has a tested method. It's not just about healthcare. Yeah. It's any type of interior design. We have a tested method that approves efficiency on the approach and the process. And normally for interior design, we would start out with a visioning session. Mm-hmm. And there's a period of time to prepare for that. And what's really important to us is that collaborative working environment and process. We like to be engaging the client throughout the different design process. And in the beginning, in the briefing area stage is extremely important. So what we do is we prepare the scope, basically. Look at the different scopes within the hospital or any type of project and prepare a fun workshop type of exercise to work with the different stakeholders on the client side. And we like to identify who are the visionaries on the client side, because with visionaries, we can achieve things, goals together.
That's interesting.
For example, we identify what are the key spaces, what are the scope within the project. And for each scope, we'll prepare 2 exercises. One is word-based, and the other exercise is imagery-based. And many often we put wayfinding as one of the most important elements, within these exercises. So in this way, we ask the client, what are your aspirations? We're there to listen to them, not to tell people what to do, but we're there to listen to the client and to really listen to their aspirations and to also to understand what they want to improve, so we can provide the right solution. So it's a very interactive exercise, actually. Yeah. Normally that would last for, say, a couple of hours. And then afterwards, we put together a brief based on our findings in this interactive workshop. Yeah. And then we send those out, say, to the client, say, this is what we spoke about. These are your aspirations. Kind of like a interiors brief. And then based on that, we start developing the concept and developing the design. Yep. So very often we go back to that initial document, say, have we done the right thing? Have we done the design or the collaboration, that's based on those ideas?
Yeah. Yeah. And you get them out, remind them if they start veering off further down.
But sometimes it's okay to wear off. It's this process is not rigid. And sometimes we have even better ideas later on as we start looking at the design to develop it. And it happens very often.
Interesting.
But throughout the way, we like to continue engaging with the client, to improve the design, basically. The design that lasts, change of time.
Yeah. So is that one of HOK's aspirations, timeless designs that will last?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's very important to us. For sustainability too. We don't want to constantly change, but improvement definitely is always welcomed.
And talking of sustainability, we seem to talk about that a lot these days,
yes.
which is really positive. I mean, how have you seen the changes in that particular subject for interior design? I guess it's a really important aspect, sustainability, inclusivity. HOK championing this, I'm sure they are.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a very hot topic. And we have done a lot of research, and each office globally and locally, we have experts on sustainability and inclusive design, neurodiversity. Yeah. In my work, of course, for interior design, materiality is extremely important. And to design with a sustainable material is essential, to my work. We have experts in all, different offices on this kind of topic.
Yeah, no, I think I'd imagine an organisation of your scale, it's well worth the investment of having that expertise in-house. I'm sure because in terms of how that sort of spreads to all the specialists, and also obviously for your clients' benefit. So your careers at HOK, you've had lots of interesting work challenges, different sectors.
Yes.
What are the key challenges? I know there's probably lots of good features of working for a large firm. I mean, we're a tiny little firm, and there's good things in that, but there's also real frustration. So, what are the challenges for you?
Well, for each project, there are different challenges. Sometimes you encounter repeated challenges or new challenges, but I see each challenge as an opportunity for me to learn new things.
It's a very good attitude.
Yeah, I'll try. And let me tell you, it's a challenge to keep up that good attitude.
Absolutely.
I think for me, like we discussed, I've been with HOK for a very long time, and I feel like I have a lot of knowledge in healthcare interior design or in, sports interiors, that type of projects. I think the main challenge for me is to have fresh ideas, not to just do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to be dormant in that kind of on the creativity side.
Yeah.
I don't want to say to people, do it like that just because it's something that I have always done.
We've done it like that forever. So yeah.
But sometimes a good idea, you don't want to reinvent the wheels, right? But for each project, because each project is different, the client's need is different, right? So our solution may be different.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge for me to keep a fresh mind, I guess.
And how do you do that? Because I wouldn't class myself now really as an out-and-out creative, but obviously we've got lots of designers. That is constantly the challenge for the business is, are the ideas fresh? Are we keeping up with trends maybe? Although that's not a real driver for us. But how do you personally, what do you do to try and keep yourself?
By research.
Yeah.
Look out there beyond what is out there, and also through collaboration, because people are different. We might have different ideas. Even though I have colleagues I've been working together for 18 years, but still I think we all have a curious mind, and through collaboration and looking into the future, we try to come up with the design solutions that's what's most suitable, to help clients solve their problems.
Finally, we ask this to all of our guests, and I think it'd be really relevant for you in terms of that future innovation trends. The interior design people often think of when they think of interior design, it seems very trend driven, very fashion driven. Obviously what you do, I think, is probably a bit different to that. It's interior architecture. But even so, where do you see the future? What are the trends at the moment?
Well, like you said, we do look into fashion, even film, what's the hot ideas, so to speak, out there, to look into those areas for inspirations. But I personally don't like design to trends because trend go out of style. What's hot today is cool tomorrow.
Yeah.
So designing to trends is very dangerous. Because we design buildings, interiors that last.
Yeah.
We, even with colors, we want to create classic design that lasts to help people, to improve their current work and maybe even inspire them to do different things. But what never goes out of style is design that promotes health and well-being.
Okay.
That never goes out of style. And especially with the recent, with COVID, and good physical health and mental health become extremely important. So I would say we like to design that, caters to that.
So obviously there's been lots of developments over the recent times, things like LEED and BREEAM and So obviously that kind of fits into your ethos you were talking about there. So,
yes.
Do you celebrate these classifications? Some consultancies find them restrictive or difficult, but for us, I think they're a positive step forward.
I think
for me
so.
personally, I hope they don't just turn into a box ticking exercise.
No, it's not just the checklist that we tick each box.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm lead AP and a well AP. Okay. And because this has become an innate driving force, it's extremely important in my work.
So do you apply those principles? I guess you do. I'm answering your question for you. Do you apply those principles from those sort of classifications?
Yes.
Regardless of whether clients, because a lot of clients are now saying, it needs to be, this platinum and gold. Some clients still don't. But you can obviously bring,
of course, your
knowledge.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Some buildings will go for LEED classification and the ratings, BREEAM. But, there are projects where a client is not pursuing that. But it doesn't matter. We, as designers, will have a responsibility to incorporate those ideas And a lot of it, especially with well, is common sense. And that really promotes well-being and, caters to people's physical and mental health. I think a lot of it is common sense to put it into your design.
No, I agree. I think that's a really good place, a really positive place to finish off. Regardless of what clients ask for as an industry, it's incumbent upon us to bring our knowledge and, those influences, sustainability, inclusivity, wellness, regardless of, whether clients really asking for them or not. I think it's a good place, a positive place to end. So thanks very much.
Thank you for inviting me again.
That's great. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening to our latest Wayfinding Xchange podcast. Stay tuned for further episodes and feel free to contact us with any questions and suggestions for future episodes.